Today we're going to review the project and how to begin your illustration drawing. You are to create an eye-catching illustration that speaks to the book's content or illustrated poem or short story. If you choose to do the book, you have to have a legible title and the author's name included in the drawing. If you choose a short story or poem, you have to combine the illustration with the hand-lettered text. The text can be incorporated within or around the drawing or placed outside it like we're seeing here on the picture on the right, on the bottom of like the, frame there. Each drawing, whether you do the book or short story, has to be 5 inches by 7 inches. These drawings should be done in a professional style of drawing. I do not want to see an elementary in style work where it looks like you're just redrawing clip art images. These need to be elevated to a higher level of craftsmanship and a higher level style of drawing. We are going to be creating these drawings with colored pencil. I am not teaching colored pencil quite yet. We're going to work on getting the composition perfected, and then we're going to learn how to incorporate proper color schemes as well as how to use the colored pencil properly. You're going to be graded on your composition and how well you use text hierarchy, which I will explain in a second. Additionally, your objects should be shaded to have a 3-dimensional quality look. I want you guys to avoid doing flat imagery. There should be some 3-dimensionality where we're seeing a full range of values or close to a full range of values on almost every object that you're shading. So things should be looking 3D, not flat shapes. After watching this video, you're going to have to watch the video created by the virtual instructor. He will teach you how to create good compositions in art. It's a 24-minute video, but it is amazing and gives you great insights on how to create really nice compositions, especially for this illustration drawing. You are going to have to watch this video before you're able to submit your assignment for today. You will not be able to submit your assignment until you've watched this video. So let's talk about font hierarchy. Font hierarchy shows the viewer which things are most important and which things are supporting the main points. If you're doing the book, novel, or an illustrated short story or poem, the title for what you're doing is going to be the most important part of the design. To help that become the most important part of your design, you have to incorporate size, weight, color, and or contrast into the way you draw out your title. So that is the first thing people look at. First, size. Size is generally the first thing new illustrators turn to when trying to create a typographical hierarchy. And for good reason. It's immediately easily identifiable by readers. So the bigger your letters are, the more important they become. The smaller your letters are, the less important they become. So if we look here, notice for a second where your eyes draw to first. They should be going to Wuthering Heights. Look at the second thing your eyes go to. The second thing they should go to is the phrase, a case study of obsession. The third thing is the author's name, Emily Bronte. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Notice that the size of these 3 different things, the title, the subtitle, then the author, are all 3 different sizes. However, in addition to 3 different sizes, the weight is different. Weight is making a font thinner or thicker and is another easily recognizable way to create hierarchy. Notice that the author's name is thinner than the thickness of the font in the title. So because the author's name is thinner, we're viewing that thing last. You can also use color to help the viewer look at the most important thing. Woof Speaker is the title. Notice it's bigger and it has a thicker weight than the author's name, Tamara Pierce. However, they're having the woof be in red. Red colors tend to jump out of the picture plane, while cooler colors tend to sit back. So they intentionally added red to woof as a thing that would stand out and jump to us most. They're putting the most emphasis on the woof name because they want us to focus on that more than the blue speaker. The last thing that you can do to help people look at your title first is contrasting the font with different things around it. Here in the Mary Poppins title, we see contrasting colors. We have a white negative font for Mary Poppins contrasted against a really nice thick bold red banner. Beyond contrasting colors, the contrast between different type sizes, weights, and styles is also key to creating typographic hierarchy. I can never say that word. A difference of only 1 or 2 sizes won't create enough contrast to make the hierarchy apparent to most users. So, when you want to create a distinguishable difference between the most important thing being the title and the least important thing being the author's name, you need to have the size of it to be different, the weight should be different, maybe the style and the way that you're drawing out the fonts, the different type of font could be different. That way, you're able to control what the viewer is seeing first and second. So here, P.L. Travers, there's a very little contrast of her name versus the background. It's a light blue against a dark blue, but it's not as big of a contrast as the Mary Poppins is against the red background. So here the P.L. Travers sits further back. Once again, with the Mary Poppins banner, it's red, it's popping forward, and the P.L. Travers is blue, sitting back. So we are seeing all 4 ways of the size, weight, color, and contrast being used to help that Mary Poppins pop forward. You're going to have to incorporate at least 2, if not all 4 of those things to help make your title of your book or the title of your short story or poem come forward in the composition. After you watch the video on how to create good compositions in art, I want you to revisit your art direction consideration and brainstorm stage. If you didn't do the brainstorm stage on the bottom, you need to do that before you get started, because this is going to be where you're going to find inspiration of reference imagery that you will have to draw from for your project. To review what I'm doing, I'm going to be doing the book Dinosaurs Love Tacos. It's a children's book, and the main character I'm going to be making a Tyrannosaurus Rex who loves tacos. I want people, when they look at the book, to feel happy and maybe get hungry for some tacos. And I'm directing the book to children between the ages of 3 to 6. Now, even though I'm doing younger ages, does not mean that my subject matter should be trite or drawn too simply. You can see here I've checked a bunch of things that I think I might want to include in my drawings. A T-Rex, maybe taco-style balloons, a party table, tablecloth, spicy salsa jars. One of my favorite things in the book is that, in the book, it's Dragons Love Tacos. Dragons can't eat spicy salsa because they get the tummy troubles. So I'm going to have dinosaurs get the tummy troubles too if they have spicy salsa. So I'm going to include some spicy salsa in the cover. I'll include tacos, and then I'm thinking I'm going to have some, be like a party scene outside. So I'm going to be including trees, leaves, flowers, maybe rainbows and fluffy clouds. And then I'm starting to think ahead about my color scheme. I want it to be more girlier, natural style colors, mainly because my girls who are 3 love dinosaurs, and there's not a lot of like girly dinosaur stuff out there. So I'm kind of creating this for them. After you've reviewed your artist consideration and brainstorm, you need to start looking up imagery that you can use to draw from for this project. I am placing this imagery on my idea illustration board, so everything's together. So I believe this is like the 5th page down here. I have found some really nice 3-dimensional imagery that I can use for the project. It took me a little bit of time to find this. A lot of the dinosaur images are a little scary, so I wanted to find something that were a little bit more simplified that still give me a sense of a 3-dimensional value, so I'm not having to recreate where my shadows and lights are coming from, but it's simple enough that I can add my own stylized features onto it. I tried to find an image of a Tyrannosaurus Rex from many different angles, so I have more creative freedom whenever I'm drawing, because we still have to draw what we see, not what we think we see. You also need to find images for every other thing that you want to include. So tacos is a big key for me. I wanted to find some illustration drawings of tacos that I would like and could modify for my own work. These are examples of pictures that would be inappropriate to use for the project. Notice that these are all clip art images. They're simple, they're very elementary and trite, they're overused. They're not going to give a lot of freedom for stylization. You know, what you see is kind of what you get, and they're just too generic. I want you guys to be pushing the boundaries. So I do not want to see drawings that are like this simple or, you know, are like too basic like this. I really want you guys to be pushing your skills and trying to make three-dimensional drawings that have a higher quality to them. I understand I'm asking you to do a lot, so I'm going to break it down into 2 days. Today, if you have not done your artist consideration or the brainstorming assignment, you need to resubmit that and do that first. Once you've done that, you can then find your reference imagery that you've kind of mapped out in that brainstorming section. You need to find reference imagery for everything you will draw in the work. Copy and paste those images onto your idea illustration board and submit them into the Schoology assignment for today. You're also going to have to watch the video by the virtual instructor on how to create good compositions. While you're watching this video, you are required to take notes that are provided for you on Schoology and then submit your completed notes into the assignment for watching that video. Tomorrow, you're going to be watching the video on how to begin making your 3 thumbnail sketches. In those 3 thumbnail sketches, I'm going to be wanting to see you applying techniques that the virtual instructor has talked about. You will then have to draw 3 thumbnail sketches that follow the requirements outlined in the video that will be posted for tomorrow. And if you have any questions or confused about anything, just let me know and I'm here to help.